Students on tonight's homework should recognize the work that we did in class today. We've moved into fractions with the tenth and hundredth, which are going to make our conversion into decimals something that we're working on. So you can see here in the directions, students need to shade 4 units of the tape diagram. This top part is the tape diagram. What they need to do then is label the line both in the decimal form and the fractional form. So we know that we're always dealing with tenths, so every time students are writing the denominator there, it should be a tenth, and then it goes out sequentially. And then today we learned that 2/10 is equivalent to 2/10 the decimal. Students today were allowed to use a calculator to put this in as a division statement. So 2 divided by 10, what they found out when they did that in the calculator was that it got them the answer of 2/10. So that's another strategy if you have a calculator at home that they can use. On question 2, we see the number line going from horizontal to now being vertical. So down here is the 0, up here is the 1 whole, and students are asked to see where it's filled to. So this is counting up by a tenth. So 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. You see the 5/10 is labeled, and then it comes up here. They want to put the number over 10, and then again that conversion to a decimal. They can either use a calculator to figure out that conversion or use the number line at the top. They're doing that both here, finding the fraction, decimal. Here they're given the decimal, so they need to show that fill in the bottle to 3/10, and then they need to put 3/10 in fraction form. When students get to question 3, they're converting either from decimal here into fraction, or here fraction into decimal, and they practice that today. And again, the number line at the top. On the back, students need to look really closely at what the directions are saying here. Students were a little confused today because they said this measured out to half, which is true, but we want to think about how many total parts has the centimeter been broken into. It's been broken into 10 total parts. So we want to see the fraction form in tenths here, because knowing that makes it easy conversion into decimal, because it's the place value, tenths, that we need to be able to make the decimal. When students get to problem 5, they're figuring out what makes 1 centimeter or 1 whole. In this case, 1 whole is going to be 10/10. So they're thinking to themselves, 4/10 plus how many tenths gets me to 10/10 or 1 whole. Same here, 3/10 plus how many tenths gets me to 10/10. It's going to be filled in here. Once they've done that, this is the matching problem with decimals. So for instance, on the first one, if they figured out that this is 6/10, they know that this should also be 6/10. So it's a way for students to make that connection between fraction and decimal form. And then on the bottom one, they're simply matching the unit form, which you see in this first column, to the fraction form in the middle column, to its equivalent decimal. The first one they did for them, 2/10 is the same as the fraction 2/10, which is the same as the decimal 2/10.